Hey y'all, Jen from Squizito here. Welcome to the Now We're Cooking Olive Oil show in my kitchen. Today I am going to make for you, it's called white wine chicken, and it's so good. I just made it for the first time the other day and it's amazing. I'm also gonna make my new favorite potatoes, and they are Tangy taters. Tangy busted taters is what I want to call them, because they you'll see why in a minute, but they are so delicious. So I'm going to show you what I've been reading lately, and it has got me so inspired to cook differently. So this is a new book that I checked out from the library. It's called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Samin Nosrat. Nosrat. Oh my goodness, this book is so amazing. It's got me so inspired, y'all. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you beforehand. You need to get your chicken and whatever cuts you want to use. Sorry, the sun is right in my face. You can just salt and pepper it like an hour before you're going to use it. So I've already done that, and it's been sitting for about an hour. I'm using some leg quarters. In the recipe that's on our website, it says 2 chicken breasts, but you can use any cuts you want. It doesn't matter. Just pick your favorite cuts, and you can do skin on, you can do skinless, boneless, skinless. I've done it both ways. So this is gonna we're gonna doing the skin on today. So first thing is, you need, after you salt and pepper your chicken, of course, you need flour in a shallow pan. And I've already salted this with the seasonella herbal salt. I use a lot, and the way I tell if my flour is seasoned enough, is I just taste it. It might need a little bit more. That's the best way to tell if you need more flour. You need more salt. I've got my cast iron skillet heating up, and I'm going to put some oil in it in just a second, but we are going to flour both of the sides of these chicken boneless, and these are bone-in chicken thighs. And I'm just going to use my hands here, and I'm going to just get flour all over it and make a huge mess. That's what happens whenever you flour stuff. You make a huge mess. Get it all over there, and then you're going to put it skin side down. If you're using chicken with skin, you put it skin side down in the skillet. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this one in there, and then I'll just do the other one. So I just laid them in the skillet, and I'm going to wash my hands and then turn up the fire. Okay, so I got the fire turned up. There's the chicken. I'm gonna cook it each side about 4 minutes. Once it gets a little bit hotter, each side about 4 minutes, so I can brown it. And once I get it cooked, I'm gonna take it out of the pan. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get my potatoes cut up. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna cut them long ways and in half. But these aren't very big potatoes. You can see. Okay, so these onions are cooking down. It's gonna take about 25 minutes to cook, so I'm just gonna let them cook down. And you see I've got plenty of oil in there. The 4 tablespoons was enough. Look, every time I do that, they just jumps out. I need to leave them alone then, huh? That's gonna cook about 25 minutes. So the potatoes are getting warm. They're gonna start to boil, and when they boil, I'm gonna turn down the heat to a low boil. And let them cook slow, and that way they can absorb the water. It'll give them time to absorb the water, but I cut them small enough to where they're gonna absorb the water. And you're gonna know when they're done when the skins start to peel back a little bit, and if you stick a fork in them, they bust. So also, whenever you get done and you're gonna toss these in some oil and stuff, they're gonna be tangy busted potatoes, or tangy busted taters, and that's why we call them that. In the meantime, I'm not going to bend over so much, and I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to show you how to make the sauce for the potatoes. Okay, so what I learned in this book, Salt, Acid, Fat, and Heat, is that what it is? Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, yes. And just so you know, I checked it out twice, and I also bought it, and so it's coming, but I had to check it out again because I'm like loving it so much I can't put it down. So what I've learned is add acid and it brings out, I may have said this a while ago, add acid and it brings out the other flavors of seasonings, which is awesome. So I'm gonna use, these are just very few potatoes. So I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons of oil, and that might be way too much, but it's okay, it won't hurt. And I'm using garlic oil. You can use any oil here. This is what's fun about the potatoes. Potatoes really do go good with just about any herb, so you can use the rosemary oil, you could use herbs de Provence, you could use Tuscan herb, you could use blood orange, Persian lime, the garlic, the butter, the basil, anything you want. Let me name them all. And they'd be good. Okay, so I had to go get my stuff. Salt. This is how I salt. This is how I do it. I think about, if I have potatoes laid out on my plate, this many potatoes, how much salt would it take? Okay, and this is big, chunky, super salty, so about a half a teaspoon. Same with the pepper. And y'all, this Pennsylvania pepper, I know we talk about it a lot, and I've got it super peppery. I'm gonna show you what it looks like in there. That's what the mixture looks like before I put the red wine vinegar in. The Pennsylvania pepper has the garlic and the onion and everything in it. So this seasoning takes the place of a lot of work. It also has green bell pepper and red bell pepper and celery seed. It's a great, and then the cracked pepper, the black pepper. This is something that everybody needs, I think. I'm gonna start selling it in bigger containers soon because it's essential. So you whisk that. I'm just doing this so the seasonings can start to break down in the liquid, and then I gotta get my vinegar. So in the book it talked about adding a little bit of acid just to give it another, more complex flavor. And I was like, ooh, and potatoes, I really like them tangy, but I don't like dairy because it hurts my stomach. So I thought, oh, I could use some red wine vinegar and just see what it tastes like. And so I did. And y'all, it's amazing. I'm so excited for Nick to try this. Do you taste it? Do you taste it? Do you like it? Do you like it? And you'd think I'd already know this stuff. But, we all gotta learn sometime. So what I do, then I added probably a half a tablespoon. I'm whisking. You probably can't see. I'm just whisking. I'm whisking blind now, whisking blind. Okay, I'm gonna show you 2 things to let you know where you need to go to the next step. One, the potatoes. Okay, the busted potatoes. Okay, so when you stick a fork in it, it kind of breaks in half. Did you see that? You know they're done. So it's kind of broken in half, and so you know they're done. So you just turn the pan off and set it aside. Except I don't have a pot holder, it's hot. So I'm just gonna move it right there and set it aside. Oh, can't put it right there in front of y'all. It'll be smoking y'all out, steaming y'all out. Okay, they are done. And so what I did was I turned the burner back up. If you like them done more than that, then cook them more. But so whenever you get them nice and brown like that, where they're cooked way down, you turn the burner back up and you add the white wine and the champagne wine vinegar. So her recipe called for tarragon. I don't have tarragon, and I couldn't even find any tarragon in the store. So I used dried oregano. Gosh, every time I take that lid off, it takes my breath. So a tablespoon of dried oregano, and I've already, and you're supposed to do this before you add the chicken. Now, I'm gonna experiment this time, and I haven't done this before, but I thought, here's an idea I had today, that the oregano balsamic would also be good in it, and maybe even in place of the white wine vinegar, champagne wine vinegar, sorry, not white wine vinegar, champagne wine vinegar. So I'm also gonna add some oregano balsamic because it's not as sweet as the other balsamics, and I think it might be good. Now, the original recipe that's on the website, it does not call for the oregano balsamic, but I'm trying it today. Okay, so you see it's bubbly and it's awesome and yummy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my chicken and place it back in the pan. Woo! And that vinegar, when it comes up in your face, woo, it takes your breath and it's cooking. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Okay, get in there in your bath. Okay, and then you take a lid. Oh, I can't really reach it. And you leave it open a little bit, ajar on the side, and you let that cook. If you're doing chicken breast, let it cook for 12 minutes. If you're doing dark meat, on her recipe it says you let it cook all the way to the bone, like 35 to 40 minutes. The other night I did chicken breast and I let it cook for 12 minutes. Tonight, since this is on the bone and it's leg quarters, I'm probably gonna let this cook for like 20 minutes, and I'm gonna see how the liquid is in the pan and see what's left. So I'm gonna strain these potatoes. They've still been sitting in the liquid. They're just fine, they're nice and hot. The biggest problem will be finding my husband and telling him it's supper time. You can kind of see how it has separated. Whoa, see how it's separated? So I'm gonna whisk it right before I add the potatoes. And I'm gonna taste it too. And make sure it's got enough salt and pepper. And the spices are gonna be really, really bright now because, oh my goodness, y'all, that's so good. Now you add the potatoes. Okay, and then you just stir the potatoes. Okay, so after dinner, the verdict is, for me, I like the chicken without the oregano balsamic. Nick liked it with, he said it was good either way. He liked it both ways. I like more of a savory flavor, and now the oregano balsamic did give it some sweetness, which I thought was delicious, and I did cook it longer, so the onions may have caramelized more as well, but regardless, it was delicious. Either way, delicious with just the champagne wine vinegar and the white wine, or champagne wine vinegar, white wine, and oregano balsamic. There you have it. Y'all have a tasty week. Bye.